The fourth large project of institutional reconstruction within the space of the nation states that exist in the world is the project of deepening democracy, of creating a high-energy democracy. A democracy that does not require crisis to permit change. Such a high-energy democracy would be established by several connected sets of institutional innovations. The first set of innovations would be designed to increase the temperature of politics. That is to say, the level of organized popular engagement in public life. For example, through public financing of campaigns, or through extended free access to the means of mass communication in favor of the political parties and the social movements. The idea is that we should not need to choose between Madison and Mussolini. We should not have to choose between a cold institutional politics and a hot anti-institutional politics. Every politics that is rich in structural content, in the production of alternatives, must be a high-temperature politics, requiring a high level of popular engagement in political life. The second set of innovations would be designed to hasten the pace of politics by facilitating the repeated practice of structural innovations. Consider what that would mean, for example, in the context of the United States. The American constitutional design deliberately associates the liberal principle of the fragmentation of power with the conservative principle of the slowing down of politics. The American constitutional arrangements were so designed by Madison and his contemporaries that a kind of correspondence results between the transformative ambition of a political project and the severity of the constitutional obstacles that it has to surmount in order to be implemented. Our interest should be to reaffirm the liberal principle, but to repudiate the conservative one. For example, by providing for anticipated elections that could be called by either political branch for both branches whenever an impasse arose between them. The third set of innovations would exploit the experimentalist potential of federalism. The federal system should become what it was supposed to be, a series of laboratories of experimentation. But to this end, particular parts of the country, or even particular sectors of the society or of the economy, should be able, under certain conditions, to opt out of the prevailing solutions and to create counter-models of the future. A fourth set of innovations would establish in the government a power or even a separate branch, designed, equipped, and funded to come to the rescue of particular groups that find themselves in a circumstance of exclusion or disadvantage from which they are unable to escape by the forms of collective political and economic action that are open to them. And the fifth set of innovations would gradually enrich representative democracy with practices of direct democracy, directly engaging people at the local level in the creation of alternative forms of life. And the natural place to begin in a contemporary society is the engagement of civil society in the competitive and experimental provision of public services. The cumulative effect of these innovations, intended to establish the structure of a high-energy democracy, would be to loosen the dependence of change on crisis and to render the transformative impulse internal to the life of democracy, to make democracy what it should be, not simply the rule of the majority qualified by the rights of the minority, but a collective provision of permanent discovery of the new.